I'm going to use this mic. I don't know if I need it or not, but probably don't. We're going to get started at 6 o'clock, and I don't want to keep you guys all night. Um, this is just something that I've had a lot of questions on recruiting. I've done this seminar before, and I thought it was important for us getting started here at Bartlesville to make sure our athletes understand how to get recruited, the do's and don'ts, and it's real important for the parents. We've worked hard already, just in our couple months, to put together a recruiting staff on our high school staff. So I'll always be in touch with it, I'll always be helping with it. But Jason Pirtle is actually our recruiting coordinator. So everything will go through him. As we start talking about camp flyers you get and all these things, because there's a million camps out there. One, you don't have time to go to all of them, but a lot of them are just money grabs too. They're not really good camps to go to. So all that needs to go through him before you sign up for camp. Just check with him just to make sure it's legit, and then also help you find the one that needs you. And I'll get more into camps. And then Noah Wilson. Noah is kind of our expert on helping you with your huddle, helping you with your highlight films, helping you with some of your social media page stuff, some of that stuff that we're going to talk about. Noah's really good at that, of helping you kind of weave your way through that and make sure it looks right, make sure it's got the right stuff on it. And Marshall Foreman is going to be on staff as my assistant this year, is moving over here with me from Puska as well. And Marshall's got extensive contacts. He was the head coach at Copan, was assistant for me last year. His son just signed a scholarship. All our guys from here that signed to go play, Marshall had a big hand in that. So he's got a lot of contacts, especially with the smaller schools around the areas. So he's going to be kind of our go-to guy to help us get out to some of these smaller schools. So I'm going to get rolling. Most people here are football people. If you're not, it's still the same. Recruiting is recruiting, but there'll be some slight nuances on some few things that are probably different for your sport. But for football, I know how it is. But our information's up there, so if you guys want to take a picture. This is actually big thank you to Mr. Vermeer for doing this. It's on Bruin TV. We're live right now on Bruin TV, but also it's going to be on there again. So if you need to go back and refer to something, you can say what he say. And then we're going to have a question and answer period at the end. So as you're going through, take some notes. If you need to think of some questions, we'll do all that at the end so we can get through it. Get the right button here. First thing I'll tell you is this. There is a school for everyone. If you want to go play, then you can find a place to go play. There's two types of coaches in high school. There's ones like us that we're going to do everything we can to get you recruited. If you play football for us for 4 years, we're going to find you a place to go play. If you say, I want to go play football, we're going to find you a place to go play. Can't guarantee you how much money, can't guarantee you how big a college, but we'll find you a place to go play. We'll work with you to try to do that. There's other coaches out there that, and I'm not saying they're wrong, it's just two different philosophies of, that's not my job. My job is to develop you and get you ready to play college football, but if you're good enough, they'll find you. The old, if you're good enough, they'll find you speech. So we're going to help you do that, though, but there is a place for everyone. What I'll say to that is, I just said it, can't guarantee you level money. Don't get hung up on Division I. That's the big thing is everybody wants to, I want to be D1. Everybody wants to be D1. But I'm going to tell you right now, before I even, and it may be on one of these other slides, and I may double up on some stuff tonight, but there's a new pathway. Because of the portal, because of NIL, there's a whole new pathway for high school athletes. And it's different from what it was 4 to 5 years ago. It is not very many high school kids getting recruited to D1. The only ones that are going are ones that can start as a freshman. If they think you can start as a freshman, they'll take you. If they don't think you can start as a freshman, they're not going to recruit you. D1s aren't going to recruit you. They're going to go to the portal instead. So that's not a bad thing. It's just a new portal, and we have to understand the new pathway. It's not develop you, let you come be a walk-on, try to develop you 2 or 3 years in, and then you become a player for them. Instead, it's you're going to go to a D2 school, an NAIA school, a junior college, somewhere and play for 2 years, develop there, then they're going to come get you. So you still be a D1 guy, even though that may not be where you start at. So don't get hung up on, I'm D1, and shun your nose and shoo off some of these other schools. Be respectful to every college coach that talks to you. And here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't care if it's a school that you're like, there is no way I'm going to that school. Still be respectful because that guy knows somebody at another school. Or he may get a new job. He may not really want to be there either. And he may get a better job the next year. And all of a sudden you were a jerk to him. Like, oh, I'm not recruiting that guy. Or he may tell his buddy says, hey, I got this kid over at Bartlesville. I'm going after you. He goes, oh, man, I'd talk to that kid. I wouldn't recruit him. So be respectful to everybody that talks to you. Treat it with the utmost joy. If you get an offer, put it out there, celebrate it, make it a big deal. I don't care if you don't think you're going there or not. Okay, so but be respectful to everybody. The number one reason you're doing this is to get a degree. I doubt that we got many guys in our program that are going to go to the NFL. If that's still your dream, that's great. All right? But even if you do go to the NFL, I'm going to tell you something. At some point, athletics ends for you. Whether it's, heaven forbid, you blow out your knee your junior year and you're done in high school, or you go to college and you think, I want to do this, and it's not really for me, and you just end up staying in college, or you finish all your time there, and all you play is college football, or you go to the league for 10 years. It doesn't matter. At some point, your sport will end for you. So the number one reason we're doing this is to get a degree. We're not doing this to get an offer to go play football somewhere. We're doing it to get a degree, to get a scholarship to go to college so we can get a degree, just to help us pay for it. This is a big one. This is the reason I got the slide up first. Character counts, okay? What I'm going to tell, I'm going to go back to what I said a little bit earlier about the recruiting process now, as far as how hard it is to get scholarships now because of the portal. And because, so you're not just competing against the other seniors across Oklahoma or even across the United States. Now you're competing across all of them, but you're also competing against the 2,000 or 3,000 kids that are in the portal that have been somewhere else playing for 2 or 3 years, that already have experience, that are 20 years old. Okay, so character counts. There's this much difference in who's going to get the scholarship. Because at the end of the day, there's probably somebody else out there that runs the same 40 as you, has the same bench press, has as many tackles as you, the same height as you. So character counts. And this comes back and gets guys every time. And character is what you do when no one's looking. That's who you are. So what you do in the dark will come to the light. So make sure your character is good. And it's 24/7. It's not just when you're at school. It's not just when you're in practice or on the game field. It's 24/7. So you go do something stupid on the weekend, that's going to come back to bite you. And I already talked about that. Now, this is a big one right here. These college coaches, you need to understand, when they come in the building, they're not going to just, so we all know when you come into the high school, you have to check in first, right, and sign in. They're not just going to come straight to my office to talk about it. They're not just going to come talk to Coach Pirtle about Landry. They're going to stop at the office first. When they check in, they're going to start asking questions right then. They're going to ask the person at the office, hey, do you know Landry? Oh, yeah, he's a great kid. He does this. He always helps us. Awesome. They'll keep going. Or maybe it's, yeah, I know him. He's late to school every day. He gets sent to the office all the time. And they start, and then the coach will just say, never mind, tell Coach Henno I'll give him a call. I don't even need to go see him. You'll lose your scholarship before they ever get to me. And it doesn't stop when they get past the secretary. Walking down the hall, there's an English teacher standing in the hall. Hey, do you know Colston? Yeah, I know Colston. What do you think about him? They start telling them. So they're going to ask everybody. They're going to find out your character. If they're going to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars in you, they're going to know who you are inside and out. So it doesn't just go off what I say. It doesn't just go off what mom and dad says when they call and talk to them. Okay, it doesn't just go off what their coaches say. It's going to go off, they're going to talk to a lot of people. So make sure you're taking care of that business all the time. Social media. So I can't stress this enough. Don't let your smartphone make you a dumb person. All right, I'm going to say it again. Don't let your smartphone make you a dumb person. Whatever is on social media stays on social media. And whatever you put out there, it stays. I don't care if you think it disappears. I don't care if mom chews you out because you posted that so you go delete it. It's still there somewhere. Somebody's already screenshotted it. Somebody's already taken a picture of it. Same thing with Snapchat. Coach, Snapchat goes away in 10 seconds. Not if somebody screenshots it. Oh, yeah, but it notifies me. Okay, what? It notifies you that somebody's got it? So it's out there. So you got to make sure social media. I've seen in the last probably 10 years, I've seen social media cost more scholarships than drugs, bad grades, injuries, bad performances. I've seen social media screw guys out of scholarships more than anything. This is your business card. Treat your social media as a business page. All right? It's not your mom's page where she can put all the fun stuff and whatever she wants to go to. It's your business page. So Twitter is the main thing that these guys use. Okay? X is the main thing that these colleges use. It's how they're going to communicate. So unfortunately, you have to have it. So parents, right now you're thinking, well, we just won't have social media, then that way we can't screw it up. No, they have to have it. That's the unfortunate thing. They have to have the social media because that's how these college guys communicate. That's how they find guys. That's how they reach out to them. So this is your business page. So Coach Wilson and Coach Pirtle work hard with you on your side. Your front page of it should look. It should look like a business card. It should be your name. Your handle for Twitter ought to be your name, and if you want to put your football number, fine, or just your name, make it your name. Don't make it Big Homie G at they're like, who is that? So make it your name so it's easy for them to find. On that page, put your school. Put your state. Understand you're going to be getting recruited from guys from other states too. So put what state you're on in. If you want to put some of your test scores, your 40, your bench, that's fine. Honestly, until they get to a camp, they do it themselves. They really don't care what we say it is. All they care about your height and then what they time in your 40. But so make that your business card. Keep it positive. Don't be putting negative stuff on there. Don't get into politics on there. You can have your opinions, but don't put them on your social media right now. Wait till you get old and graduated before you do that. And what's important to you. So if your social media is all these playing video games or pictures of girlfriends you went on dates with, so like coaches are gonna say, well, that must be what's important to him. If it's pictures of you at a football camp and pictures of you at practice and pictures of you lifting weights, oh wow, that's what's important to this kid, obviously, because this is what's on his page. So make it what's important to you, that you want them to know what's important to you. Make sure they know that. All right, so that Twitter name, make it easy to find. All your important information, so your email, all the good stuff they need to have right there on the front page. Don't make them have to go search for it to try to recruit you. So right there, school, state, your grade, your position, your measurables, your huddle link. Put your huddle link right there on the front page, so they don't have to go find your huddle. They can just click on it and watch your highlights. And we're going to talk about huddle highlights a lot here in a minute. All right, this is what's going to piss all the boys off, but I don't care. Parents, you should have their password to all their social media. All right, and it's not to, oh, I got you. You know, they're still high school kids, and they're going to do dumb stuff. So you should have a password on there so you can see what's being said on there, what's being on there, not just what's public, where anybody can find. So have a password, because what I've found, if they just know you, I mean, I did the same thing with my daughter, and I did check it a couple times at first, but then it was like, I don't even know if I ever checked it past her sophomore year, because she just knew I had the password, so she wasn't going to put anything stupid on there. So if they know you can get to it, then they'll usually keep it pretty right. Yeah, what you put on there never goes away. That's why I told them they can find it. Understand, if you retweet something, you share something, you like something, that's yours. You say, oh, I didn't put that. I just shared. I thought it was a funny joke, but it was an off-color joke. Or I thought that picture and it wasn't appropriate. I know a story of when we used to do this seminar with USA Football for parents, and I always had a panel of coaches. I'd have a D1 coach. I'd have a coach from every level. So I got to hear all kinds of great stories of things that had happened. Coach told a story about a kid that lost his scholarship offer off his Twitter page, and he's maxing out on bench. You think, well, that's awesome. Why would you? I mean, that's a good thing. No, it was the music playing in the background. He didn't even think about it, just music weight room, But it was some bad language. It was some things that we don't like this kid's character because the music's just playing in the background. That's how small it is. So you got to make sure and really be careful and scrub your social media, because they will. They've got whole staffs that do nothing but search you out, Google you, try to find everything about you. So make sure you don't share that stuff. I already said I started with that. And I've already told you that. So just make sure we keep our social media right. Next thing is exposure. This is the biggest thing now. Now, luckily, we're a 6A school. Right now, we don't have that many schools coming. We will. Okay, by next year, we'll have every school will stop here to see us. But the exposure is a big piece. And I'm not just talking about your film. And I'm not talking about me calling and saying, or Coach Pirtle calling, or Coach Foreman calling and saying, hey, we got this kid over at Bartlesville. Them actually getting their hands on you and seeing you. They want to time your 40 themselves. They want to see you in person. They want to really get to know you. So you got to figure out how to do this exposure thing. And that's where it gets crazy with camps, because there's so many of them now. There's so many football camps out there. And I'm going to tell you this. We are past the point of going to OU camp so we can get our picture taken with Coach Venables and then be done. That's what we did when we were 5th and 6th graders, 4th graders. All right, you went to the camp, your favorite college. Now, go to the schools that are interested in you. If you're not getting recruited by OU, don't go to their camp. I don't care. Well, we got it on here. Maybe they'll like us. No, they're not going to. All right, they would have already told you. And I'm going to tell you this, they'll take your money. All these camps will let you come, but if they're not really interested in you, they're not going to even pay you attention while they're there. All they're going to do is sit there and rub on the guy that they've invited there and that they want there. They're going to be around him the whole time. So make sure you're going to schools that are interested in you. Understand, like I said, we're not just taking pictures. This is a business trip now. When you go, I saw a thing the other day. Matter of fact, I screenshot on my phone. I probably ought to read it to you. A college coach was talking about the main thing he's looking for as camps is the kid that tries to get every rep, the kid that busts his butt every rep. He's sprinting back to the line. He's doing all these little things that nobody else is doing. Not the kid that, I'll run one, then I kind of hang out over here, and I'm too cool for this drill. And they're not going to recruit you. You've got to do something to set you apart at these camps, and it starts with your effort. Your effort of busting your tail every play, trying to jump in there and get the reps. Who cares if they think you're a rep stealer? Jump in there and get it. Don't shy away from anybody. If all of a sudden you're a receiver and you see the next guy in line, oh, that really, really good DB's next. I'll just step back one. No, don't do that. Step up and go. They'd rather you get beat and go up there and compete than shy away from competition. So jump in there, go full speed, get good rest before you go. Treat it like it's a dang job interview when you go, because it is when you go to these camps. Look for the one-day camps. We're done. You're too old. You're done with the other ones. Look for the one-day, 2 or 3 hour camps. That's what you need. Go. That's going to be plenty of time for them to either think, I like the kid, and I'm going to watch him go. I'm going to watch him when he, as his senior, junior, sophomore year, whatever it is. I'm going to watch him throughout the season. But don't go spend 2 days at a camp just because it's some school you really like. Just go get in, get out, get it done, give maximum effort. If you can find a good mega camp, and you can get with Coach Pirtle, there are some good mega camps out there. What I mean by mega camp is you'll see some camps that say they'll list 15 colleges that are going to be at one camp. The thing about mega camps, it might be my next point on here. Yeah. Make sure they know you're coming. So just because they list all these schools, and hey, these 3 schools have contacted me. And so you need to make sure you reach out to them and say, hey, Coach, I'm going to come to that camp. I saw you're going to be there, because their whole staff is not going to be there. And so that way he can at least say, if it's the line coach, he's recruiting you, he's like, okay, my receivers coach, I'm going to tell my receivers coach to really watch you while he's there, even though the receivers coach doesn't know who you are. But make sure you reach out to them first. Plus, those mega camps are also so big with so many kids usually that if you're not there, you just get lost in the shuffle if they're not looking for you. So make sure you reach out to them first and let them know you're coming and that you're going to be there. Also on those camps, back to mega camps, a lot of times you'll see all these brands. Somebody, I think, might have been Mike. Somebody sent me a camp the other day and said, have you heard of this one? It had all these schools. It sounded like, oh man, it sounded great camp. It's not very far. It's up here in Kansas. But it's some little bitty school. I'm thinking, all right, that doesn't make sense. Because usually if it's going to be a camp of mostly D2 coaches, it'll be at a D2 college. And they'll invite them all. Like OBU has a decent one. There's some of them that have some decent ones. If it's D1, there's one at TCU and one at SMU that are great. You better be really, really good to go to that camp though, because they're going to have every D1 coach there in America, and it's pretty tough to get in. I mean, you need to make sure you got an invite. But this list that Mike sent me had all these colleges, so I just called K-State and said, hey, are you guys really going to this camp? And they're like, we don't even know what that camp is. And it was Joe Bob Clements that I was talking to, who used to be at OSU, and he said, that doesn't mean it's not a good camp. He goes, a lot of times we'll tell guys that they can plant our logo there, and we'll have somebody there with our shirt on, with our logo on, just so we can get the results of camp. We can get your timed 40s, we can get what your height was, what your wingspan was, we can get the true results. So sometimes they'll have guys there like that, but it's really not their coaches. So you got to kind of be careful with mega camps a little bit. Sponsored camps are good. If you can find one that is actually going to get the information out. Prep Red Zone, I'm not saying it because I work for them, but they do the best I've seen, because not only you're going to get a skills work, and you're going to come back a better football, but that's the other thing I'll tell you too before I go on. When you go to these camps, work your tail off, and whether you end up with an offer out of that deal or not, come back a better player. Learn something at the camp Maybe something you can show one of our coaches, hey, I learned this drill, I think it's awesome. And so learn from the coaches that are there, because hopefully you're at camps that have good coaches. The Prep Red Zone camp is good, and matter of fact, this Sunday, if you guys have seen it on social, I'll put it out there. If any of you guys want to go, it's this Sunday in Broken Arrow, so it's close, and you can use the code Hennesy15, you can save $15 on it. Rivals has a good camp. There's some of them out there, some sponsored camps like that aren't college camps, that are still good camps, and normally they should be ending by the end of May, those sponsored camps, if they're a legit camp. And here's why. They need to understand that once school's out, you need to be going to college camps, the one-day college camps. So there shouldn't be a ton of those in the summertime. Yeah, just do your background check on those, call around, see, are they really going to do what they say? If they say they're going to compile your information, get it out there, if they say they're going to have some college coaches there, are there really going to be college coaches there? All the things that sometimes they promise you that aren't really there. So exposure is a big deal. Recruiting services, don't use them, period. I can go into more in depth about this. It's okay to enter your info in, because every one of you is going to get hit up on. They get your info from the school. They're on the roster. You're on Max Preps. Your name's on a roster on Max Preps. And there's a lot of camps there. I will tell you how I usually choose whether or not I give you. A lot of you guys get a lot of letters for camps that you don't ever see. Because if I get a stack of letters from this camp and they've sent it to 15 guys on our team, 3 of them didn't even play this year. 2 of them haven't played football in 10 years. I mean, they just got a name off. Then I realize they're just getting names. So I know it's not a real camp. So I try to do away with that. And I try to limit some of that for you. But on these camps, it's okay to put your info in there. But the minute they start asking for money, that's when you need to bail out. You should not need to pay to get recruited. Okay, I'm going to say it again. You're going to have to pay to go to the camps. Matter of fact, we had a conversation today. It is illegal for us to pay for your individual camps. Okay, we can pay for a team camp if we go to a team camp and our whole team goes, but we can't pay for individual camps. That's what we got my buddy fired at Tahlequah about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So the schools, booster clubs can't pay for your individual camps. So that's another thing you got to look at. You got to look at, hey, I got to figure out a way, I got to make this money. Maybe I got to mow some yards, maybe I got to do something. And you don't want to go to one every weekend, or you don't want to go to 15 of them when 10 of them really aren't even going to get you anything. You might need to pare it down because that's where your money needs to go, though. Do not pay for the recruiting service, because I'm going to tell you right now, I've not met one college yet that, oh yeah, we use the recruiting service. When they get the email, they get the emails from them, but then they delete them. They don't even open them. So they're not going to use these recruiting services at all. So don't waste your money. Hope nobody's going, oh dang, or if I can cancel that check. All right, a big one, academics. Again, the difference between you getting a scholarship and somebody else is this much. So your grades is huge, and it starts your freshman year. Transcripts start your freshman year. So whatever that is, you're trying to rebuild from there. So you got to have the grades all the way along. And if we're not talking about Division I, I'm going to talk about different types of scholarships in a minute. But if we're not talking about D1, your academics is huge. D1 is 100% full ride scholarship. None of the others are. None of the others give full ride scholarships. They may tell you we're giving you a full ride, like Kane's got a full ride, but it's not full ride football. They stacked this with this with this, and they start finding, now if they want you bad enough, they'll find enough things to put together to get you where you're not paying anything, which at the end of the day, that's all you care about. You don't care if it's a full ride football or they came up money from 9 different foundations and you didn't pay anything. At the end of the day, we're trying to get our school free. So make sure your grades, you're on top of that. Your ACT, this is crucial. You need to take it early and often. That's why, and I know some of you seniors are, oh dang, wish you'd have told me this 4 years ago, but that's how we get our name on the back of our jerseys. In order to have your name on the back of the jersey on Friday night, you have to have taken your ACT that year, every year, until you make it 31. If you make it 31, I'll let you quit taking it. But I haven't had many guys do that. So you got to keep taking it. So take it your freshman year. You're not going to score great, but you're going to learn how to take the test. You're gonna start to learn it. It's just like practice. You don't know how to tackle when we first do it, but the more we practice it, the better you get. Take it again your sophomore year. Take it again your junior year. Take it again your senior year. Take it 2 or 3 times your junior year and senior year. Because here's the other thing that a lot of people don't know is that you can do a super score. How many people know what a super score is? Good, there's a few people. So, everybody says, I made an 18 on my ACT. Well, yeah, you may have made an 18 cumulative, but you may have made a 19 in math, a 21 in English, a 22 in reading, and then bombed your science. You may have bombed one piece of it. So that's what's bringing your cumulative down. Well, if you keep taking, even if those others go down, it doesn't matter. You can take the best score of those 4 to provide your cumulative. Because they're looking at, when they start talking to me, they're like, does he have a 68 on his ACT, a 72? They're looking at the 4 scores added together is what they're really looking at when they start looking at trying to get you financial aid money. So we can use your super score for that a lot of times. So the more times you take it, the better you can be. I've even had students that it was one section of math or whatever they were having a problem with. It was usually the one that was towards the end. They just couldn't stay focused for 3 hours. I'd tell them, go in there, look, you've done so good on this. Go in there and sleep through the first 3 tests, and then dial in and take that last test, and let's get a good score on this last test. And that's worked sometimes. Hopefully we don't have to do that. Clearinghouse, okay, it's not called the clearinghouse anymore, but we still call it the clearinghouse. The colleges will still say, have you done your clearinghouse yet? That's the link, www.eligibilitycenter.org. Everybody needs to do it. If you're planning on playing college sports, you already need to be registered. You need to have your ID number, okay? It's called the, what is that ID number? Something. NCAA, it's called the NCAA ID, okay? So you'll have a number. You do not have to be done with all of it. You got to get through the first part. The one thing I'll tell you is do not put your transcript on there, because that's an option to put your transcript at the end. Don't put your transcript until we're all done, because hopefully not many of you, but I had a case, I had the #1 player in Oklahoma, Jamil Owens, went to OU, but he was just a little bit short of having the number he needed, the GPA he needed. Well, he made a D in English, a 69. Now understand too, that we're talking about grades, a 69 is a D, and they don't care if it's a 69 or a 61. It's a D. So if you're at a 69 and you know that, don't be like, oh, well, who cares, I was close. You need to be in there begging that teacher, doing whatever you can. What can I do to get 1 point? And that's what we did. We went back to his freshman English teacher and said, what can he do to get 1 point from your class for his freshman year? She said, if he'll write a report on that, gave him a whole deal, he did it. She went back in and changed his freshman grade from a 69 to a 70. We weren't asking for a lot. She changed it from a 69 to a 70, but that changed his whole GPA and let him get in OU. Now, if he had already put his grades, his transcripts on his clearinghouse, now all of a sudden grades changed, it'd have thrown up a big red flag. We weren't doing anything illegal, but we'd had to jump through a lot of hoops to explain what happened. So don't put your grades on there yet, but go ahead and get on there. You have to be registered to take an official visit. Now your official visits won't be usually till going into your senior year, but to take an official visit, you can take as many unofficial visits you want. You only get 5 official visits. You can narrow it to 5 colleges, but you can take as many unofficial visits as you want. But to take an official visit on campus where they're paying for anything, feeding you dinner, doing anything there, staying the night, any of that stuff, you have to be registered with the clearinghouse before you can do it. They will not let you come on campus without it for an official visit. And don't attach transcript till the end. Get with your counselors and make sure they know what your 48H is. It's a list of approved courses. You need to understand too, I don't want you looking at your transcript telling me, oh, Coach, I got a 3.0, but you've made a D and an E or C in every math, English, science, but you did really good in PE, you passed football, you made an A in football, you had an A in PE, you made an A in weights, and so you're using all these classes and adding up this great GPA, that doesn't count. The GPA they're gonna look at is your 48H, your list of approved classes. Only the list of approved classes that are for our school. Every school has their own list, and you have to have a certain number of Englishes, a certain number of maths, a certain number of sciences in order to get in for the clearinghouse, okay, to get through there. So make sure you understand that and make sure you're taking the right classes, because that'll end up being a big deal. And we will help you with all that. I've got a worksheet that I use, and we'll track that and keep track of all that stuff for you. Coach Pirtle and I work together on that. Okay, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of APs and honors classes. If you can make an A in it in your AP or honors class, then take it. It's going to help you down the road. If you're wanting to be an engineer and you think you need this honors math class to help you for college because they'll prepare you, then take it. But at the end of the day, colleges do not care how many AP classes you had, how many, I don't know what the opposite AP is, LP, whatever it is, classes you had. They want to know what's the GPA. So if you take basic generic algebra, algebra 1, and you make an A, you get 4 points on your transcript. If you take AP algebra, and it's hard, and boy, it was a lot harder, you did a lot more work, and you would have easily made an A in the other, but you make a C, you get 2 points. That's all they care about. So there's pros and cons to AP classes. I'm not telling you don't take AP classes. If you can make a good grade, you need that for whatever degree you're going to get in college, then by all means take them. But understand, it doesn't count different. Sometimes people think AP class, you get 5 points, you get an extra point automatically. That colleges do not. Okay, whatever grade is on that transcript is what the grade is. Okay, you don't get any extra points for it. So just, a lot of people don't know that. All right, you're filming your huddle. This is a big thing where guys screw it up a lot. The first page of your huddle film, your highlight film, needs to be a business card, kind of like your Twitter that we talked about. Your name, your state, your school, your whatever. Those things on that front page. Easy to find you. So they click on there and they're going to go through it fast. Okay, yeah, Lander Holmes, okay, cool. And they're going to flip through that page. Then they're going to watch the first play. So the first page is a business card. Same things we talked about earlier. You don't need, they are not going to watch a 2.5 hour highlight. This is not a highlight film to send grandma, okay? And, that block that you just blocked a guy, there was nothing really special about it, but you just blocked him. They don't care about that, okay? They're going to watch one play. And if that play says, wow, holy cow, did you see that? Let me watch one more play. Woo, this kid can play. Watch one more play. Maybe they might get to 3. Because at that point, they're going to, usually by then, they're like, don't worry about it. Or, you know what, I'm going to go watch this film. They're not worried about your highlight film. The highlight film is to get them to say, wow, look at this guy. So the first play needs to be one that pops off there. It needs to be something that it's your most athletic play, not just a normal run-of-the-mill. Anybody could have made that play. If there's 4 of the guys on your team that can make that play, don't put that play on there, okay? There was a kid that I coached in USA football way back when, ended up going to Oregon, and he was kind of an undersized D lineman, but they had a play where he was the backside defensive end, and also this isn't, and I might have this on here, it's I said that, let's see. A varsity plays only, I'm gonna get to this. Hang on, I'm gonna go and tell the story, and I don't know if it's on there or not, but this needs to be about you, not your team. Your highlight film is about you, not your team. So this play that I'm talking about, the ball was on the 1 yard line coming out of the end zone. He's on defense, and the other team breaks a run off tackle on the other side of the play for him and takes it almost to the house. He chases them down. He comes off the edge to the right, changes direction, and runs and tackles the guy on the 2 yard line, keep him from scoring. Now, that's not going to be on the team's highlight film. We just gave up a 96-yard run. But that play got him an offered scholarship to Oregon because they said, he came off the ball super hard. He was able to flip his hips, and then he ran. He's got great aggression. He didn't give up on a play. All the things they're looking for, and it wasn't a team play. It was your individual play, but it was a wow play for him. So varsity plays only. They don't care about what you did in JV game. All right, so don't put that. You make a great play in practice, cool, you can send that one to grandma. They don't care about what you did in practice. Varsity plays only in a game, okay? Mark your play. The easiest way to do it, to make it easier on you, and I think Noah would tell you the same thing, as you go through your season, put a star by your plays that you think could possibly be a highlight film. Because as you get older, when you're probably your junior year, for sure your senior year, we may be sending out 3-week films. We may be saying, hey, we're going to send out a a 3-week highlight film and get this, trying to amp this recruiting up a little bit in the middle of the season. Junior year, sophomore year for sure, you can wait till the end of the season and do one. But you'll make your film. But if you'll star your plays as you go through the season, it makes it easier to go back at the end of the year, and there they are. You don't have to go back through all your games, try to find, where's that one play I had? I know, just star them as you go throughout the season. Wouldn't you say, no, that's the easiest way to do that? And then when you get it put together, make sure you have one of these guys review it first. All right? I've seen so many guys think this is a good play and it's not a good play. Or it's just all right, yeah, you made a catch, but anybody could have caught that. You pancaked that guy, but he tripped over somebody else. It looked cool, but he tripped over somebody else and you really didn't do much. So make sure we watch it first, because not only will we say, no, take that play out, or yeah, that's a good one, we might reorder it for you. This play needs to be first. Put this play second and help you with that order. And once we get that done, then we can start sending that out. And then every college has access to every high school's huddle. So they can get on and watch any game they want anytime. So from then they go and pull your game, because they don't really, I mean, everybody can look at a highlight film. They want to see, what do you do after you make a bad play? Do you come back and have a good play the next play? What do you do after this? What do you do against different competition levels? You know, what do you do against these different guys? So they want to see it all. All right, how do you know if you're truly recruited? Okay, so this is man, I got all these letters, Coach. Well, I'm trying to filter. They know in the office now, don't give you guys any of the letters that come here without getting to me first. Because there's so many of them they're form letters. And they're sending them to every kid that's listed in Max Preps, and so you think you're getting a letter and you're not. So how do you know if you're getting truly recruited? Has the coach contacted to you? Has he talked to you on Twitter? That's usually the way it is. Has he sent you a handwritten letter? Been watching you play, keep it up, Coach Smith, O-line coach from Oklahoma State, whatever. So make sure the personal contact's there. Not the camp flyers, not the generic mail. Those are not the deal. Do not be afraid to ask them when they're talking, Coach, where am I at on your big board? And if they say, oh, well, they're lying. Every college has a board, and it's got the guys they want listed. This guy. Where am I at on the list? Where am I on your list? Because they've all got a list. You might not be number one. That might be okay, because the 3 guys above you may not be going there. They may be going somewhere else, and they may have a whole list. But don't be afraid to ask them where you're at on their big board. Say, are you guys truly recruiting me? Do you really, you think I got a chance to play there or not? And don't ever be afraid to ask them questions. Oh, next one. So there's no such thing as a dumb question. And tonight too, hopefully your brain's spinning a little bit and you're gonna have some questions for us, things you think, we need to know about. What did he mean by that? Whatever. Hopefully you're keeping track of that stuff. But there's no dumb questions when you're talking to recruiters. Parents, I'm talking to you mainly. Boys will be afraid, usually most players will be afraid to ask the tough questions. Do not be afraid to ask the hard questions. They want that. Because here's what I'll tell you, it's probably my next deal. Yep. They will not lie to you. But they're not just going to volunteer any information that may not be what you want to hear. So don't be afraid to ask them the tough questions. Don't be afraid to call us and say, hey, what else should I ask them? Is there anything I ought to be asking them when we go? Because we're finally down to meeting with we're meeting with the head coach now. What's some things we need to ask? And you may already have those things in your mind. There is no dumb question. But what I've found is these guys will not lie to you, because they're not going to ruin their reputation. They're not going to lie, and then all of a sudden you're putting it out all over social media. This guy told me this, and he did this. They're not going to do that. 95% of them aren't going to do that. There's a few of them out there that don't make it in the business long, but they will. But if you don't ask, there's a lot of things they won't tell you, okay? And so make sure you ask them the questions. Make sure you always involve us. If you are getting recruited and that coach has never talked to me or never talked to one of these guys, I would steer away from it. I had a situation in Muskogee. I still feel terrible for those 2 kids. I had them both set up on really good scholarship. They're both going to Langston. We had it set up. It was going to be a great deal for them. but their pastor got involved, and he knew a guy who knew a guy at, I won't say the name of the school because I still not very happy with them, but way down south in Texas. But it was a smaller school down there, and man, this dude offered him the world, all this, and they never ever talked to us. I didn't know them, never came and talked to me. I warned their parents. I said, I don't think that's a good thing. I've never even talked to them. They got down there. They did not have a scholarship. They got down there. They didn't even have housing. It was terrible for these two boys. But so make sure they've talked to us, because as much as they won't lie to you, they dang sure won't lie to us. Because if they lie to us, they'll never get to recruit any of our kids again. So they won't lie to you either, but sometimes we'll ask them some other things that you won't think to ask them. So make sure that you involve us, and that's what we're here for. Okay, again, when I started this, there's two types of high school coaches. We're the ones that want to help you get recruited. So we're here for you to help you get your kids recruited. There's all different levels of scholarships. D1 is the only one that's truly full ride. We talked about that earlier. Other schools are going to stack money, is what they call it. They're just going to find ways to stack money and keep putting together deals and deals and deals until they get you what you need. There's going to be a piece that's athletic. There's going to be a bigger piece, usually it's academic. Now, I'm not saying it's like you're trying to get into Harvard and you got to have this, but there's okay, you had a 3.0. Okay, you made all B's in math classes. Okay, we can get you a scholarship on this. They can find you money a lot of times, and to be able to stack this money. Because at the end of the day, this is all that matters. At the end of the day, all that matters is how much is it going to cost you per semester. That's the only number that matters. So you got to make sure as you're looking at these schools, and I know Coach Foreman had to deal with this a lot, dealing with the KCAC. They'll throw out these numbers to the private schools up in Kansas. They'll throw out some numbers to you. You're getting a $42,000 scholarship. Whoa, oh my gosh. Where NSU is only giving me $10,000. Well, I'm getting 40. And then you look at the bottom line. Oh heck, I'm still paying $40,000 to go to this other school. I'd go to NSU for $3,000. So you got to make sure and look at the bottom line of what is the, and the thing is, the really good coaches, and you'll deal with some of these, I think the really good ones they'll tell you the number, but they're always going to tell you how much it's going to cost you. They'll tell you what the bottom line number is, and that's the guys I like that will tell us how much, and we can compare that. Understand and don't be afraid to ask them what are going to be the requirements to renew this scholarship. After I get through my freshman year, what's the deal going to be next year? As long as I keep playing good and stay healthy and keep my grades up and show up every day and work hard, is that it? Or if you find somebody better and bring him in, am I going to get kicked to the curb? There's all kinds of things you need to ask about. What are the requirements to renew the scholarship year to year? Because we're there for 5 years trying to get our degree. So that's what we started with. The whole reason we're doing this is try to find a way to get our degree. All right, you need to understand, when you get an offer, they have an expiration date. And what I mean by that is a lot of times on their board, it'll say they'll have decided, hey, we're going to offer four linebackers. And they offer Bowden. Bowden's one of them. They're going to give Bowden an offer. But they offer 5 other ones too. So they've offered 6 guys these scholarships. And you play around. Well, I'm going to do something, man. I don't know yet. And then you come back and say, you know what, yeah, I'm going to commit. I want to. Man, sorry. I remember a guy, one of the coaches in the seminars I did, talking about how he had to tell a guy on his birthday that he no longer had a scholarship for him. So what I tell guys, and this is when I did this seminar with all the college coaches get mad at me, but I don't care. I coach high school kids. I don't coach college kids. I had a young man at Jenks, when I was coaching at Jenks, great kid, got offered the University of Tulsa, but was taking a trip to TCU the next weekend. So he wanted to be honest. He loved TU. Really thought that's where he wanted to go, but maybe I might want to go to TCU. So he didn't want to commit yet. Trying to be an honest, great kid, because he is one. He goes to TCU. It's right before Christmas break. He comes back. It's Christmas break is hit. Nobody's in the office at TU. He can't get him because he's calling to try to commit. By the time he gets a hold of them after Christmas, they don't have a scholarship for him. And TCU had already gave theirs away too. This kid ended up at Northern Arizona as a 3-time All-American, TU screwed up. But so what I say is this. This might be my next point here. Oh, so talk to the coach. How long is this offer available? Depending on who you are, I mean, I've had players where they're like, you can do the hat thing on signing day. We don't care. You're that good. We just hope you pull our hat. I mean, I think that thing's a joke when guys do all that, but whatever. It's kind of fun sometimes. So ask them, how long do I got to commit? How many other guys have you made this offer to, and how many are you going to take? I mean, if it's Michael, they're probably taking one quarterback, maybe two in a class. Well, we're going to take one, possibly two. How many have you offered? 4? Oh, okay. So is it the first one that is? How long do I have to commit? Because that's different too. Because it might be you've got till signing day. That guy over there, he better tell me tomorrow before that other guy tells me. So you got to know. So don't be afraid to ask him how long you have. And here's the part that pisses college coaches off. Don't be afraid to commit if you like the school. If you like the school and you think that's someplace, now do not be the guy that commit, decommit, commit, decommit, commit, don't be that guy. But if it's a school that you like this school, if you're like Jake, like I talked about the TU, he loved it. What Jake should have done, had I known better then, I was second year coaching, I didn't know. What he should have done is commit to TU, took his trip to TCU, and if he liked TCU that much better, decommit and go. Because at the end of the day, if you commit, they're going to hold your scholarship. They're not going to give it away. So again, don't just commit to commit, but if you think you could see yourself being there 4 to 5 years and you like the school, go ahead and commit to them. Go ahead and commit and they'll hold your scholarship. That way you don't lose out on it. So, and that's something we can help you through that process as well. Multi-sport athletes. I know I got some guys that play other sports in here. And I'm pushing our guys. It's something different from me than in the past, something different from some of our other coaches here, whatever. But colleges prefer multi-sport athletes. Now, if you're a kid that you need to be in that sport year-round in order just to start. Like you need to work on basketball year-round just to start. Or you need to work on football year-round just to be able to start on the team. Fine, but if you're that dude that you're going to start, whether you're there in the spring or the winter anyway, you need to go play other sports. First of all, you need to go have fun. You're only going to do high school once. Go do what you like to do. Go have fun. I love it for me personally because it teaches you how to compete. There's nothing I'm doing. We're going to lift weights anyway. I mean, you're not getting out of that. We're going to lift no matter what. But running around some cones and over some bags and doing some agility drills, that dang sure ain't going to teach you to compete like sticking your foot up on the line and having to wrestle some dude in front of everybody in the building, being on the free throw line with 3 seconds left and you got to make these free throws, being on the bump with 2 outs and you got to win this game. That teaches you how to compete. And that's how we're going to win here is by learning how to compete. But the colleges like that too because they see you do other skills. They see you can track. They see certified times. All right? Basketball, they see how you can move and how you compete. Wrestling, they see, your alignment. Oh my gosh, his hand-to-hand combat is great. His balance is great. All these things. So they want to see you do that. The other thing is, they're going to study your intangibles. I've heard this from many, many college coaches. They want to see, what are you doing? Because the thing about football is you always got a helmet on. See, you can see body language a little bit, but not like you can in those other sports. You want to make a bad shot or get mad because the guy didn't pass you ball in basketball and you're going to pout and you're going to go over there and not shake anybody's hand and sit on the bench. You better hope that college coach ain't sitting in the stands watching you because they will show up to your other sports unannounced to totally watch your intangibles. Patty Gasso does it all. She talks about this all the time. She will never let her softball girls she offers know that she's coming to their basketball game. And all she's doing is going to sit in the stands. She could care less if they can shoot a 3-point shot. She could care less if they get off the bench. But how do they cheer for their teammates? Do they do all the intangibles that she's looking for on her team? So that's another reason why it's so important, why I like you playing other sports, for college reasons, for recruiting reasons. Okay, how do you decide? Now we're getting down to the end. How do you decide? This is a list that I will give you. I'll print this off and give it to the boys. So what we do on this list, and there may be some ideas you come. This is just what I've come up with over the last 30 years of 20 things that usually weigh into factors for families. Okay, and every family is different, and every kid is different. So all we do on this is you're going to rank them 20 to 1. Okay, so whatever's the most important to you, if hopefully not, but if Landry's girlfriend's choice, that's the most important. Yeah, well, there's going to be a lot of them at college. So anyway, hopefully that gets a 1. I'm just going to say it. But sometimes it doesn't. And you need to be honest on that. But you go through here and rank them where we say it. So how quick you're going to get on the field, playing time, is the most important thing. How quick, I don't want to sit on the bench. Well, that needs to be 20. If you don't want to go very far from home, then that needs to be 20. All these things that are on here. Rank them. Amount of scholarship money or NIL money. That might be the most important thing to you. How much money am I getting? What's going to make it the cheapest for me to go to school? That's the most important thing for me. I don't care where I go. I just need to go for free. Mom doesn't got no money. I'm not going to get much, or Pell money or whatever. So that might be 20. Whatever it is, you rank them. And then after you rank them, also, this keeps you from making an emotional choice. Because I can't tell you how many times I've had kids be all in on all the things that they want in school. They go to some school, oh my gosh, that's my school. I come back, I'm all fired up. Their buddies were there too. Their buddies are talking them into going to school. They pick a school, and they weren't even going to go hang out with their buddies. It doesn't even factor into it. So sometimes you make an emotional choice instead of a strategic choice. So we want you to make a strategic choice. You got to find the best fit for you for the next 4 to 5 years. And then never base it off a recruiting trip. Okay, I think that's my last thing, so I'll tell my story. It's a good one. So right here, you write your schools you take your visits on. Okay, so you rank it 20 to 1 right here. Write your schools here, NSU, whoever, Bethel, whoever, write them right there. Then you put a check mark. Okay, well, that one was the closest one to the home. Period. That was pretty easy to figure out. That's the closest one to home. Well, there may be 3 of them up there that are all the same distance, so they all 3 get a little check mark there. Well, at the end of it, you just come down here and total it up. And it gives you a pretty good rubric to figure out, wow, okay, well, this is probably the best fit for me, figuring everything in that's truly important to me and my family. But never, ever base it on your recruiting trip. And I'll tell you a good story about a recruiting trip. So this guy goes on this guy dies. And so he dies. He's lived a pretty good life, so he thinks he's going to go to heaven. He knew he wanted to go to heaven. So he goes and he's in purgatory. He's just sitting right in the middle. And they said, I'll tell you what, we're going to let you pick. He goes, let me pick? Of course I want to go. Well, you might not, man. You might want to go to hell. It might be a good time. He's like, huh? He said, well, you might. Well, so we're going to let you take a recruiting trip to both places. We're going to let you take a recruiting trip to heaven. We're going to let you take a recruiting trip to hell. So he says, all right, what could go wrong? So he goes up to heaven, and it's white, fluffy clouds. It's street paved with gold. It's serene. It's beautiful. It's just like you'd always imagine. It's nice. This is nice. All right. Then he takes his trip down to hell. Man, it's a good time. There's good-looking girls everywhere, and it's a party, and everything's fun. There's money everywhere. Everything's free. It's just the best time he's ever had in his life. So he comes back to St. Peter and says, all right, it's your choice. What are you going to do? He goes, man, I always thought I was going to go to heaven, but I think I want to go to hell. All right, poof. He goes down there and goes to hell, and it's fire and brimstone, nailing and washing, people beating him. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He said, man, that's not what it was when I came away. Oh, no, that was your recruiting trip. So my point to that is your recruiting trip is not going to show you anything. Okay, your recruiting trip is going to be a great time. They're going to show you all the things that everybody wants to do. They're going to tell you all the things that they want to tell you. They're going to say, yeah, Lotion, we'll put you at tight end, man. We'll give you a chance at tight end. Heck yeah. You're going to get there. You're going to first day of individual. You're going to go to tight ends for one play, and they're going to send you down to the line. Wait a minute. You said you'd give me a chance. We gave you a chance. Now go down there. I'm just telling you. So don't trust the recruiting trip. Do your homework first. Understand what's truly important. Don't make an emotional decision. And I think that's it. And you guys want to add another thing? Okay, here you go. And then we'll open up for questions. So if you guys got questions, these guys can answer them. I'll answer them, whatever we need to do.
All right, so there's a lot of information. Quickly, just want to cover one thing: relationships. All right, this goes with being recruited. This goes with they come talk to your counselors. All right, relationships are huge. Okay, so before you go to a camp, I've been telling you guys that I've been asking about. Hold this one too. It's for the camp. I'm telling you guys have been asking about camps and stuff. Reach out to the coaches, all right? Before you go to a camp, try to let a coach know you're there. And that does not mean to call them once or to message them on Twitter once, okay? You should spend an hour a day reaching out to coaches. They have thousands of DMs, all right? So keep DMing them. You're not annoying them. They probably don't see most of them. But if you just message them once, they're probably never going to see it, all right? And the key to do it is early in the day, all right? Reaching out to a coach, get up early in the morning, send it early because you'll be at the top of their list, or late in the day. All right, you send it at noon, they're probably never going to see it. So you send it first thing in the morning or last thing at night. All right, so reach out to coaches. Let us know if coaches have contacted you. I have a whole spreadsheet of what's going on, who's been contacted, or stuff like that. All right, because we can then reach out and see if it's like legit. All right, I had a kid at IMG whose dream school was leading him on and leading him on. And leading him on. He waits, doesn't let me know. Finally, he let me know. We called them, realized that they're not going to offer this kid. They're stringing him on in case the other guys don't commit. All right? He goes back to what he wanted to go with second school, and like Henna was talking about, his scholarship wasn't there. All right? So it really turned out a bad situation. He ended up in a good spot. Everything worked out. He's happy where he's at. But he missed out on his second school that he really wanted to go to, that he had an offer from. Everything was ready. He loved the coaches, all right, because he's waiting on something that actually wasn't there, all right? So let us know so we can contact people that we know there, or we can reach out and just figure something out. Or if you're going to a camp, we might have contacts, these guys over here, me, we might have contacts to let them know you're there, all right? Definitely if you're going to your senior year, you ain't got nothing going on, all right? We need to get it going. And one more thing. Camps, when you go to a camp, all right? Get there early. Don't be the last guy on the field, all right? Luckily, we get you up early, so you're used to being up early. Try to get there early, get stretched out, get ready. Don't be in a rush. Don't be 5 minutes late, all right? Those lines can get long. Get there early. Try to shake your position coach's hand. Try to meet people, or meet the other coaches, all right? Try to make a good impression, all right? They're seeing everything. They're not looking for a reason to recruit you, but they're looking for a reason not to recruit you. Same goes for Twitter, all right? They're looking for reasons not to recruit you, not necessarily reasons to recruit you, all right?
That was a great quote. I wanted to add that to our deal. They're not looking for reasons to recruit you. They're looking for reasons not to recruit you. So what questions do we have? Do we have any questions? I know there's a lot of information thrown at you quick. Yes, sir.
So you talked about how the portals change. What about shifting from scholarship limits to roster limits now with that? Is that also?
Yeah, it's making it even worse. So you're talking about D1. So now they're going to go to, instead of being able to have 110 on their roster, they can only have 85. So basically what a college coach told me is there's no more walk-ons. So they got rid of walk-ons. So he said that is limited. So the kid that was, even with the portal, it was still cutting down on it, but they were still taking that kid. Well, we really think, we'll bring him in here, we'll redshirt him, we'll let him walk on, but prefer walk on. He's a great player here in state. We'll give him a chance to see what happens. Those are no more. Like, they're non-existent. So that's why, and that's another big piece that's changed the pathway as well. That now it's go to a smaller college, ball out, and then jump in the portal and go. And the small, I mean, I've got a lot of great friends at the smaller colleges. Andrew Rice coached here. One of my good friends, he encourages it. He goes out and gets the guys that he knows dang good and well they're D1. But for some reason they didn't get offered. Usually it's you're an inch too short or a tenth of a second too slow. So I'm gonna tell you right now, the D1s, they care how tall you are and what do you run your 40 in. I mean, that's the two things that they care about the most. But that's the D1s. The other ones will find football players. But he said, they encouraged them. They said, come on in here, ball out. We will help you go somewhere else after that. You know, and at the end of the day, those coaches are trying to do the same thing. It's like they're trying to make that same bump too. So, any other questions? Dang, we must have done a good job then. Yes, sir. There is a dead period in there where there is a no contact period. We'll get that calendar. You know what it is, or offhand? The no contact, yeah. Yeah, as a sophomore, you can't, I don't know that you can, well, you can't get any offers. I think you can have contact. You just can't get any official offers before that. But there are some no contact periods in there. There's a calendar. We can pull it up, or you can probably Google it. And there's a no contact period where coaches, probably just to give coaches a break and give them a week or two off here and there. Yeah. That is true. A lot of the things that we talked about today too, not really, but some of the things are D1. Because I know everybody's goal is D1. So we start there and work our way down. And the farther down you go, the more lax they get with a lot of that stuff on how much you can recruit them, when you can go, all the things you have to have done. Anything else? Anything else that you guys got? All right. Well, if nobody's got, and we'll hang out too. Also, Coach Pirtle has been putting together a camp list. Okay, so I've talked to a couple of the dads already. Make sure you get with him today before you leave. I know we got some that we're sending to UCO Saturday, and then Sunday is the Prep Red Zone camp. That's all grades can go, eighth grade up. If you're a baller as an eighth grade, I wouldn't go try to compete against the team because it's all one group. But that one's Sunday, and then we're really right after that, right after our spring ball, we're really starting to get heavy into the college camps after that. So, all right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming. Appreciate you guys for filming it. And, appreciate it.